Hello YouTube. I have officially decided to start a channel. If you found me on here, then you probably follow me or have seen my Instagram, which is TIU_Chelsea Beth Fitness. So I wanted to start a YouTube to kind of let you guys know a little bit about me and my fitness journey, to help other people with their fitness journey and kind of like get started, learn, depending on where they're at. And yeah, so my name is Chelsea. I'm 24 years old and I live in Ohio. It's a little town near Cincinnati. It's where I grew up. We moved back here about a year and a half ago. Prior to that, my husband was in the Marines, so we were stationed in North Carolina. We were there for 4 years before that. So yeah, I am a mom to 2 little boys. I have a 4-year-old and an almost 2-year-old. I wanted to kind of tell you guys like how I got to where I am today and what really like got me started on my fitness journey and what has made me stay on my fitness journey. So I'll kind of give you guys like a background of me, I guess, of like, you know, how I got to where I am, what I used to do, what I do now. So prior to like really getting into fitness, I guess I should probably start like all the way back to high school. I worked out, but I mean, it was like where I would go to the gym and I would do a lot of cardio. Like I would be on the elliptical or like a treadmill for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And then I would do like random machines because I had no idea what I was doing, or I would do just like regular ab exercises. But I really had no idea what I was doing. I ate whatever I wanted. It was just not anything serious then. So after high school, I went to college at the University of Kentucky. And it was kind of the same thing there. I worked out, but I ran. I was on an elliptical, a treadmill. Like I did little exercises on the side. I would take like little classes that we had at our gym in our dorm. But I was still eating kind of whatever I wanted. I was in a dorm room. Like you don't eat real well, I guess, unless you like know what you're doing. So I did the same thing there. I was only there a semester. I was going for nursing. I knew like once I got into it that that's not what I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to do that my whole life. Like my life goal was to become a nurse. But it wasn't for me. Like it just wasn't the end result of what I wanted to be doing. So I left there. At the time, my boyfriend was away at the Marines, which is my husband now. So I went home. I went to hair school and I started there. My husband came home from basic training, and we got pregnant with our first son. So I went to hair school, was pregnant, couldn't really work out. I have really like strict restrictions on what I can do when I'm pregnant. I'm not really allowed to do much of anything besides like walk, really basic exercises. So I had gained about 40 pounds with him when I was pregnant. So after I had him, I wanted to like lose that weight and kind of just get back to where I was before having him. So I did the same thing that I knew. I did a lot of calisthenics, a lot of cardio. I lost the weight. It was great. At that point, I had never really like paid attention much to like having muscles. Like that didn't really like, I just knew that I wanted to like be little and be thin. Like that was in and that was what people wanted. And so I was happy that I lost the weight. So then my husband got deployed and was deployed for about 7 months. And while he was deployed, I knew like I wanted to get in good shape while he was gone, because when he comes home, you want to look good, like, you know. So I got toned, I worked out. A friend of mine helped me like with what to do for working out. So I did that, and then when he got home, we got pregnant with our second son. So again, not allowed to really do much besides like walk. I'm on a lot of restrictions, like I said. So then I gained about 48 pounds, I think it was, with my second son. So after I had him, I really wanted to lose it. Like, I wanted to lose the extra weight. I wanted to get in shape. So I had seen a program called Tone It Up. One of my friends had told me about it like way before this, and I had seen like their show that they had and whatnot. So I decided to start up with it. I started my Instagram, and this was fall. This was like September of 2014. I started it up and tried to do their first challenge and failed miserably. Like, I think I did like 2 weeks and stopped. Like, I just wasn't in the right mindset like to do it. So then I started back up in January with it, and I loved it. Like, I stuck with it. I loved it. I was seeing great results. I lost all the weight from my second son. I got back in shape. So I did their bikini series to get ready for summer, and I got down to like 125 pounds, which is like about 5-10 pounds lower than what I'm usually at. And at the time, like, I was so happy. Like, I loved the way that I looked. And then I kept doing it. Like, I progressed on. I did another one of their challenges. And then that's when I really started noticing, like, girls on Instagram that had muscle. Like, and I wanted that. I wanted to not just be thin. Like, I felt really thin. And like I said, at the time, that is what I wanted. Like, I wanted to just lose the weight, get little, and like look like that. But I started noticing girls that had muscle, and I was wondering like why I didn't have that. And I mean, I was doing a lot of cardio still. I was still doing a lot of calisthenics. Like, I was using really light weights, like 5, maybe 10 pounds with some of the exercises I was doing. But I had never lifted in my life. I had never picked up heavy weights. I had never like done that. I was really scared to do that. Like, I thought that I was going to get bulky and big, and I didn't want that. Like, I still wanted to look very feminine and girly, I guess. So that's what kind of held me back from doing that. It was just like a fear. You see all this stuff that's like, you're gonna get big and bulky and you're gonna look manly and whatnot. Like, you can't look feminine. And so it scared me, and I didn't want to do it. So I kept doing Tone It Up. And then I noticed a girl on Instagram. Her name's Taylor Chamberlain. And I noticed her. I follow bodybuilding.com because that's where I get all my supplements. And they were doing their spokesmodel search. And she was one of the top 5 finalists. And she just had like the body type that I was looking for. She had a lot of muscle, but she looked so feminine. And so I had got on her Instagram and noticed that she had a YouTube. So I got on her YouTube and I watched a lot of her videos. And it helped me so much, like, understand weight training and understanding that you can lift heavy without getting big and bulky. So she's kind of what pushed me to go over to lifting weights. So I started lifting weights in January of this year, 2016. And it has made a world of difference. Like, I didn't really truly understand how big of a difference there is between doing cardio and calisthenics and then lifting weights. Like, I do cardio maybe like 2 times a week right now. I'm bulking right now. So I only do it for like 20 minutes. Like, I don't do that much cardio anymore. But I've gained so much more muscle doing that compared to what I was doing before. And I love Tone It Up. Not saying anything bad about them. I still incorporate like their HIIT workouts, like their ab workouts. I incorporate that all into my lifting too. So I have done that now, and it's like 2.5 months that I've been doing that. And I've gained so much muscle, but also with lifting weights, I started counting macros. Same thing. Had no idea what a macro was. I didn't know how to count a macro. I didn't know what my macro should be. Had no idea about this. So I did a lot of research, and I found a girl through Pinterest actually. And she has a blog, and it's called Jersey Girl Talks. And she had a basic breakdown of like what macros are, how to count macros, and so that's where I started off with. So I took the information from there and went to katiehearn.com, and I used her macro calculator, calculated my macros, and I started counting macros after that. And it's true when people say like what you put into your mouth is like what you're going to see. I don't know if that's the right way that they say it, but whatever. So you have to eat along with what you're doing. Like, you can work out every day for an hour a day, and if you're eating like crap, you're not going to get anything from it. Like, it makes a huge difference what you eat. So I started doing that. Was a lot of trial and error. Like, I don't have a coach. I have learned stuff just from people on social media, the internet, like their articles. That's where I've learned all my stuff from. So I was basically teaching myself. I would try stuff and notice that like this is working, but this isn't working. So I kind of had to like go back and forth with what my macros were, what my workouts were, like all that stuff. So yeah, that's how I've gotten to where I am today, and I'm currently bulking right now. I'm not prepping for anything. I'm not competing. Like, it's just my lifestyle now, and I love that, and it's kind of my thing. Like, I know a lot of other fit moms will understand when I say like you don't have time for yourself really, especially being a stay-at-home mom. And then with working moms, like, I don't know how they like ever have time for themselves, because they go to work and then they come home and they take care of their kids and their family. And so that hour and a half time is like my time. That's my time for me to take care of myself, to do something for myself. And I think that's why I love it so much. Like, I don't have that time other than when I do that, really. Like, I mean, we get a couple hours at night, but I want to spend that with my husband because he's home from work then. So I usually do my workouts in the morning before my kids are up. I get up super early. I mean, my kids are usually up by 6:30 or 7. So I'm up before that doing my workouts. But that's how I've gotten to where I am. That's how I do it, kind of. That's where I've kind of gotten my source of information from. I want, like, I guess my purpose in sharing my fitness journey is to like help others to love their fitness journey and to love themselves. I think self-love is so important. Like, I have been so insecure the majority of my life, and I've just now gotten to a place where I'm like accepting myself, and I enjoy the person that I am, and I'm like confident in that. I like know who I am, and that's who I am, and take it or leave it. That's kind of how I am. But I want other people to get to that point. I want other women to become confident in themselves and who they are, and to enjoy the journey and get to where they are in life. So I hope that I can do that for people. I hope that, people feel free to ask me questions. Like I said, I was like new to weight training prior to January. Never lifted a weight in my life. I just started. I mean, it was pretty much January of 2015 where I really started getting strict and hitting it hard to just fitness in general. So any questions that anyone has, I would love to hear from you and for you to ask me, because I truly like want to help everyone that I can to get to a point where they're enjoying their fitness journey too and are happy. So sorry if this was a little boring because it's kind of just like an about me. I guess that's usually what people do for their first video. But I just kind of wanted to give you guys a background, how I've gotten to where I am, and I hope to hear from you guys. So thanks for watching.